Hey everybody, what is up? Tim here, back again for another reaction video. I am joined once again by my brother Matt. Matt, please say hello.
Hey.
Hey, very nice intro you got there. So we are back today checking out another band. This is going to be Matt's first time checking out the group Unlucky Morpheus. Not my first time. I've had a couple interactions with these guys. Well, not personal interactions, but interactions via YouTube and checking out their music. And I will say to Matt and to anyone else watching who hasn't experienced Unlucky Morpheus, these guys are a bit more, they're on another level. I would say when it comes to the musical composition, they're really gifted musicians. The whole group is. They have a lot of orchestral pieces that kind of work into their music. And they are also fronted by the hardest working female in Japan, and that is Fuki. Fuki was in a number of bands. I think she currently heads two bands, this band, Unlucky Morpheus, and another band by the name of Dollbox. And I think there was another group that she was a part of. I just can't remember the name right off. But Fuki's awesome. Their guitarists are awesome. And I think this group will resonate quite a bit with you because they're very musical. They are very gifted individuals.
Sweet, man. Can't wait to hear it.
Excellent. Well, before we dive in, is there anything you'd like to, how's life going? Are you doing good?
Doing well. This has been super fun. Super fun way to learn about new music and new bands that I, otherwise would not know about. So yeah, it's great.
And it's funny you mentioned that because I subscribe to a couple like metal blogs, and I thought I was pretty in the know when it came to like metal bands. And then I started this channel, and all of a sudden I was hearing things that I've never heard before, or not even never heard, but heard of. And so it's kind of just interesting. There's so much music out there that we aren't really, we don't let in, because I feel like, at least for myself, speaking totally for myself, I just get kind of stuck listening to maybe the same 10 albums, and I just sort of repeat.
Yeah, it happens to me too. There's so much out there now, and we have access to so much music, and it's possible for bands to get their stuff out there in a way that they couldn't, 10, 15 years ago. So it's exciting, but also it can be overwhelming, like, what do I listen to? There's like thousands of things out there.
Well, exactly. Like, I'll bookmark, URLs, pages of groups that I know I should check out, but I'm just like, I don't have the time. I just like life. But, it really changed, I think, around MySpace. My band was around when MySpace was a big thing. So, and it was super helpful, but at the same time, you just get drowned in all these other up-and-coming bands. So.
Right.
Yeah. So Unlucky Morpheus, they are quite established. I don't think they have to worry about MySpace or anything like that. So you've got it pulled up on your screen. We're gonna go ahead and get it started here in 3, 2, 1. Jazz chords.
Yeah, 7th chords. Nice.
Golf clap. Wow.
Yeah, man, that was sick.
That was pretty darn good. It was like, 5 songs in one, which is always, that's good for the money right there.
Yeah, it felt very much like the sections were related to me, like it didn't seem like different things necessarily. I felt like there was a thread, there was a musical thread there. Man, what a cool song. That was a big, like, felt like a big journey.
It was a journey. I definitely there was a few things, of course, I appreciated. There was that little Beethoven, Mozart, sort of neoclassical vibe there, sort of in the middle, right before I think the solo section, which was, that's, hey, I'm a fan of the classical music, so not a problem with me.
Yeah, that chord progression in the very beginning, and that comes back through at different times in the song. It actually, there's that first one reminds me very much of a jazz song called Autumn Leaves, which is like one of the big important songs for jazz musicians that they play. And so they use that same chord structure, and it's not just from that Autumn Leaves isn't the first time that chord progression happened, but it's cool to take something that's kind of been around, and then to use it and put your own
twist on it,
twist to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of creative things going on with that band. I love how there's a violin player in the band.
Yes, I should have meant there's more sort of orchestral in the literal sense, where there is a violin player. Not to get too personal, of course, but your son plays violin, and maybe he would appreciate this.
You might, man. Yeah, I hear a lot of violin practicing going on, so
excellent.
I've always loved the violin, but I've grown to like it even more recently. So it's always cool to hear an unexpected, instrumentation. You don't expect to hear a violin in heavy metal necessarily, or hard rock, or whatever you want to call this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's cool. Singer's really good, man.
She kills. She even went falsetto there for a second. It sounded like she was.
Well, it's not. It's not falsetto. Women actually do not, as far as I understand it, do not sing falsetto, and that they don't have the same sort of thing. That, like, a man singing falsetto is a different thing than a woman singing in a high register.
Okay.
But she has crazy range. That, like, super high. She would hit, very high notes and then have a very, like, wide and yet even vibrato. That's like, that's intense sounding and effective.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been called the songbird of my generation, and I can't even do that stuff. So very, very, Fuki's, she's amazing. And everybody knows it too. Like, every time, you put, I'm going to put Fuki in this thumbnail and we'll get 1 million views guaranteed.
Oh, geez. Yeah, no.
People love
incredible.
Fuki. So, you're my guitar teacher, of course. You mentioned that we were talking about the 7th chords, and now to my understanding, that is using the 7th note in the major scale of whatever your tonic is, essentially.
Sure, yeah. A 7th chord just has some type of 7th. So, the major scale gives you the format of, like, where the natural 7th is. But some of those chords, there were a lot of minor 7th chords in that song. There was even, I think, a dominant 7th chord, like the intro. They may have used it elsewhere. But, those have a flat 7th. So, it's just like a 1-3-5 and some type of 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Now, do you, if I asked you to, do you remember the last chord that was played in the song, that blah kind of run through?
No, I don't remember it.
If you listened back for, like, a split second, would you be able to possibly recreate that chord for me?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Not to put you on the spot, just
seriously, dude.
Put me in the ballpark, just maybe. Yeah, I'll try and find it just so people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a minor 7th chord.
All right. Here, let me play it back for my people.
Yeah, it's A minor 7. That one.
Give it to me one more time. A minor 7?
Yeah. A minor 7.
Okay.
This one. I wasn't sure if they were in standard tuning, but it sounds like they are. It's like an A minor chord that everyone knows, and you just take off the take off your third finger, and that's the jam. A minor 7.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yeah, man. So that's actually cool because not to be like
don't be an elitist jerk.
No. I was gonna say not at all. No, it was not at all. Stairway to Heaven is in A minor.
Oh, okay.
And not that sounded anything like Stairway to Heaven necessarily, but you got to think about Stairway to Heaven as being like a significant in the sense that it was a long song with like a big journey, right? And this song felt like a long rocking song with a big journey. This is a lot, more going on in this song than Stairway to Heaven, obviously, but yes. I always like one thing that happens when you listen to music is you relate it to everything else you've heard, right? Like you're not even trying to, but like everyone, we have our own like world of music that we've heard. And so you just start to make connections with everything else you've heard. And that's a connection that I made, right? Like big epic rock song. And one of the earliest examples, certainly the most famous example of a big epic rock song is that one. There's probably others, but that's cool. And then to find out, they're in the same key or whatever, or at least, I mean, that song switches keys, but they're kind of A minor, I think, is their home base. That's cool. That's a cool connection.
I love it. And I like that you pick up on those things because, not having the musical theory background, I miss things like that. I'm like, oh, it sounds like that, but I can't say, well, because it's in the key of blah, blah, blah. So I appreciate your ability to maybe see that or to connect those dots a bit better.
Yeah, it's certainly not necessary. It's not like a necessary thing to do, but it can maybe bring some more like enjoyment to it,
Yeah, I think it helps tell the story. I mean, maybe if we're like, oh, maybe this was their ode to Stairway to Heaven. I mean, who knows? I mean,
it would be interesting. Like, obviously, that's a song everyone knows, and they know it because obviously they're really like well versed if they're playing like that, man. Yeah. So I'm sure someone knows like about like the inspiration behind the writing of that song. Would be interesting to find out like what they were going for, yeah.
Very nice. Excellent. Well, I don't know if everyone's noticed, but we both have guitars. And I didn't know maybe if you wanted to maybe go back and forth just real quick on I asked you to install a whammy bar because and I knew you had to take it out of the case and you put it on and
dust it off.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been playing around just trying to kind of playing around with sounds and stuff on the whammy. If you maybe give me a little taste and I give you a taste and we'll just taste back and forth.
All right, you got to go first, though.
Oh, what the hell?
You already finished. Nice.
I was talking to Matt before the video, and I was like, dude, your tone, it's just so good. What's up with that?
Who knows what it's going to sound like on...
I'm sure it'll sound...
Skype.
Oh,
who knows?
It sounds okay to me. I'm sure it'll translate fantastically through compression and rendering and uploading to YouTube's ridiculous. Very nice. My previous lessons have all been about minor pentatonic scales. And this past week I've been working on my E minor because previously I wouldn't say I mastered it, but I practiced my butt off for A minor pentatonic. So I've been working on E minor pentatonic, and it's nice being able to apply, it's just these dots on a page, right? These scales, these shapes, and applying them to music that, say, I've heard before, right? Being able to play over famous songs that are in the same key, and it's been very helpful. So thank you for that. Much appreciated.
Oh, yeah. This stuff's it's no fun unless you're using it to like create something. Yeah,
exactly. Well, I do appreciate, of course, the theory, but then also just the application of that into actual, say, songwriting or
Yeah,
playing is just, it's been a lot of fun. So much appreciated.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh man, my pleasure.
Let's see here. What? If you just give me, if you got a couple like whammy things you can do, and then I'll try and one up you maybe or something.
Whammy thing. Okay, I think I might.
Do you remember any tricks from when you were a teenager with the whammy bar?
Well, just other than the dive bomb.
You've got a super Van Halen tone, which
Thanks.
I'm loving, and I'm sure obviously he's been tweaking his tone for the past 30 years, but it sounds really good. Just
man, thanks.
Yeah. I've been trying to do the kind of reverse, throw it back,
Yeah.
and then really find that spot. But it's not easy.
Yeah, the whammy bar. All right. The whammy bar is like an art into itself, man.
It really
Some people
is.
go nuts with it, like trying to do whammy stuff and keep it in tune, sort of. I mean, it's hard.
Hey. That was actually pretty cool.
That takes some practice.
Yeah.
Steve Vai obviously is like so good at that. Yeah, I don't know.
The way he implements the
flutter.
Yeah, the flutter.
Great.
His flutter is amazing. And of course, we'll have to take a moment of silence for Dimebag Darrell, probably the greatest whammy bar user
That
of
dude
all
was
time,
such a
so.
beast.
Taken away from us way too soon. Well, I don't want it to be a 30-minute video, so I do appreciate everyone hanging out with us for a second while we totally, just goof off.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, Matt is available for lessons actually. If
Thank you, dude.
Yeah, if you want to take my spot, because I'm obviously not a paying customer. If you want to take my spot for lessons, you can send Matt an email. I'll have his website down in the description below. Be sure to hit him up. He's a fantastic teacher.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have more suggestions for us to check out, we're down to listen to anything. Doesn't even need to be metal. It could be some J-pop. Whatever. Hip hop. I'm down with it all. Trip hop.
Yeah.
What other pop? Yeah, there's tons of hips and hops. So yeah, feel free to shoot that on over. And yeah, if you're not subscribed, please feel free to do so. We'll catch you next time. Peace.